It is finally Friday, and I'm saying, you know what? It's still summer. That means I'm not in the studio. I found a nice little location that I've been to many times. That's Swing Barrel Brewing over in Moorhead. Center Avenue is open, and, it's beautiful outside in Downtown Moorhead. Well, she's coming to life. I wanted to learn more about that. Matt Leiseth, the Downtown Moorhead Incorporated CEO, joining us over at Swing Barrel. Matt, good to have you on Afternoons Live.
Great to be here.
Big day out here.
Yes,
Center
it is.
Avenue opening up.
I was so excited when I came to swing by to talk to you, and the cones were down, and the road is open and ready to go.
Yeah, well, and you had so many meetings to get this, and we're talking about the time frame. You know, with all the construction that's been necessary over here, they still got this done relatively quick, at least this stretch of it.
This short section between 8th Street and 10th Street, we knew, it's a tight area for these great local businesses, and we knew anytime road construction is around you, it's dollars for these people. And so with the city and the contractor, Dakota Underground, who did the work, the goal was to get it done in less than 60 days. And from what the unofficial tally, Ide Bailey hasn't certified it yet, but I've been told 59 days from when the first cone went up till we opened it today.
Hey,
so
you know what, they lived up to
great
their
job.
word. Yeah,
yes.
They're cutting their clothes. But you know what, getting something like this that was so necessary done in that short amount of time to keep these businesses able to get through to that other side, because it is a scary time for a business when you have that construction. You know, we get it. You need the infrastructure, but it's still, you got to make it work as well. You know, and these businesses were getting innovative in ways that they were doing that. I heard the tour de cones that they had. So, and I bring that up because, you're the CEO of Downtown Moorhead Incorporated. There's a vibe in the business community over here that is unique, it feels like.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is.
It's really exciting, and Tour de Cones is a great example of the business owners that are in this area, not only on Center but around, where they're banding together and talking about, something bad is happening, like road construction. I mean, things like this happen normally, but they didn't sit, and I'm sure they were very worried, like any business owner would be, but it wasn't, well, who's going to fix this for me and how's this going to be? They banded together as a group and said, hey, we're going to pull this together and we're going to do tour de cones and we're going to promote each other week by week through these 8 weeks of construction. And it worked. Mm-hmm. It got people out here, and it was one of those things that, government can't solve it. The city can't, magically write big checks and say everything will be okay. But the city came by, and as they're promoting, the city's tagging it and getting just a little bit more reach. It's those simple things that, this private-public partnership that we can do to really make the whole community better.
Well, you're right. It's not like the city of Moorhead. You just be like, okay, how much did you lose out on this month? Here's a check for you. And if you did that, people would complain about that. Yeah. So, okay, now what we're doing? But overall, just downtown Moorhead as a whole, I've been saying from a ways back that they've got a plan, and you're starting to see it really come to be that reality. From the mall location to what this little nook of businesses have over here, it's really becoming its own identity here.
Yeah, it's really exciting. As the Moorhead Center Mall is gone and we're redeveloping blocks, the loop is open. It's going great. City Hall is going to be moved back in here by November, and we're talking with developers of the other blocks, and good things are happening. Essentia is going to be opening a full-line clinic coming up next year. And, they're rehabbing the old Wells Fargo building, which is one of those pieces, I think, any city, when a bank leaves a really big old building like that, that's a worry. Yeah. How do you repurpose that? And they're coming in and stepping up. We can just see it from your angle here in Swing Barrel, the FM Hotel, the Frederick Martin that Kevin Bartram, once City Hall is out of there, he's doing historical recreation, so it's going back to the Frederick Martin Hotel that was built in the 1950s. So he's going to bring back that architecture style.
I love that.
Lobby and full-service restaurant on the first floor from breakfast to dinner. The floors 2 through 6 are going to be a hotel. He does those boutique hotels, so he was a partner with Hala, so everybody stayed there. Yep. It's that same kind of concept. 78 rooms. I mean, so it's significant.
No doubt. I didn't know there was that many.
I was surprised too. I'm like 78 rooms, so that fits in there. And then the top floor, for those old like me, it was the treetop before, and the treetop's coming back. So you're going to have this, higher end restaurant. I don't know how many days a week, if it's a weekend thing, but the rest of it is going to be banquet space. And so really important, and for, my mother grew up here, and it was only a couple years ago, but she remembers being at wedding receptions in the treetops,
sure.
In that area. So, and it's a space that fits really well because it's in between what the Armory Event Center is doing, the large space, the annex, which is right next door to us.
Yep.
This is the middle, and so now we're serving even more people with different size parties, and you still have full catering, and you're being able to really serve more people and have great options.
What I like having these conversations because oftentimes what captures people's attentions is this business is closing, and then it's nothing's working anymore. It's what is it? It's got to be government. It's got to be the business climate. But there's so much positive happening that never makes the news. It's not dramatic. It's not sexy to talk about some of these new things that are potential coming.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of normal. I mean, every time there's a closure, and it happens on both sides of the river, across this whole country, that businesses will close. But the hard part is when new things happen, it takes so long. From the time we first talk to a developer till a purchase agreement starts and they start building, sometimes it's 1.5 to 2 years. There is nothing exciting about watching paint dry, for a building going up. So it's never the understanding of just what it takes, and especially for these business owners, they're putting their heart and soul into this business, but they're also putting potentially millions of dollars on the line for their passion, and that's a big deal.
I ask this oddball question often when I have people like yourself on, and it's never necessarily a comfortable question, but what's missing in downtown Moorhead? When you're with the Downtown Moorhead Incorporated, what do you think's missing in this area saying, if we had that?
Well, I think in general what I'd say is missing, and that's going to come to life in the downtown area. It's really density.
Sure.
It's getting, and that's the plan of these blocks. It's going to be 5-6 stories and first level activation. So you have places like Swing Barrel where you can just walk off the sidewalk and jump into a cafe. You're jumping into a coffee shop, a tap room.
Yeah.
Those are the pieces. And as that comes up, you're going to see more people walking on the sidewalk, back and forth between the library. And that's what's missing. You have it in great pockets like we are here on Center Avenue, but it's that central piece that people will refer to as we talk about the district. I'm going to go to the Loop District because the plaza's going to be there and the city's putting on a concert, and we're all going down there to take advantage of that. So that's the piece that's missing, but we were very deliberate about removing the mall so we can rebuild that because we would never get that out of a mall.
Right, yeah. Don't get me started on malls and what they used to be to what they are now, but I remember when that conversation started about the mall and, we're going to lose this. Yeah, but think about what's coming in replace of this thing. That's quite exciting.
Yes.
It's having that long-term vision that I think sometimes people like myself, I'm guilty of this. We get so short-sighted, you get nostalgic about something like, but I don't want to see this go. And then once a ribbon cutting happens, like, okay, this is pretty legit too.
Mm-hmm. I think it's very normal as humans. We mourn things that we lose.
Yeah.
Whether it was time to pass, time to move on, and a lot of times we forget about this closed, but the business that replaced it, I loved even more. Mm-hmm. And that's the excitement that's really coming with Downtown Moorhead is you can figure out that there's going to be excitement and new things are going to come that you never thought would be here.
My guest right now is Matt Leiseth, Downtown Moorhead Incorporated. I was visiting with the mayor a couple weeks ago, and and I asked because Clay County is like the 4th fastest growing county in all of Minnesota, and a lot of that's right here. So It tells you Moorhead's on the map for people that want to live here. I'm curious why you think that is.
First of all, I think it's a great community. I've lived here for 30-plus years. Moorhead really supports each other. There's something about, we rally around the high school. I think there's every town gets excited, when a state champion,
that helps
it
a
gets
little bit,
crowned. But there's something more about the excitement that happens when it's in Moorhead. I mean, all the businesses are excited. The community's excited. I mean, there is something about how we rally around each other that do it. And you can't dismiss, we are part of a really large region. When you think about we go across to our friends across the river with Fargo and West Fargo and Horace and everybody, we're all in this together.
Yep.
In the end, a lot of times people like to pit each other against, like, oh, you're trying to get that. It's like, we're really all reliant on each other. I really challenge anybody who's never crossed the river to do something. Like you've never come across the river to go to Blue Stem for a concert. Like you've never gone across the river to see a Bison football game. we're in this together, and I think we're really in a spot where I don't think we were 10 or 15 years ago, where the whole community kind of goes, we're in this together.
Yeah.
We're cousins.
Right.
Your growth is our opportunity, and it's really working for all of us.
Well, there's a couple things. You're right about the championships. My small town of 450 people still has the Class B basketball boys championship in 1999 on display over there. But, back on the Fargo side, convention center's happening, and it's all about where's it going to be located. Well, we don't want to buy too close to West Fargo. They're going to benefit. Well, guess what? It's right across the river from Moorhead now.
Yes.
And you don't think that it's going to benefit a new hotel that's coming up in downtown Moorhead when that thing's there? So everybody benefits when these sorts of things happen.
Absolutely. And when I think somebody had asked me about it, I said, I see it as complementary.
Yeah.
I think everything we do is complementary. As Kevin opens up, it's complementary to downtown Fargo, because they're going to still be in the heart of what's going on, and they just happen to pick a boutique hotel instead of a mainline hotel. But they're still in our community. They're still spending money.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Matt, what I miss about what's going on over here before I let you get back after it?
Swing Barrel is open right now. The road is open. Come on in and have a pint.
Well, and we're encouraging that, especially tonight through tomorrow as well. They got 6 years underneath their belt over here. Matt, it's been a pleasure. Let's do this again soon, all right?
Yes, absolutely.
Matt Leiseth again, the CEO of Downtown Moorhead Incorporated. We'll get you caught up with some of these messages. I see your text coming in to 35270, and we'll come back to more Afternoons Live right after this.